Is any action, finite action, appropriate for any infinite reward or punishment?
Fun fact, this is a very same question I asked my university's Christian Union every year I got invited to their Guerrilla Christian event. They never once answered the question and instead responded with the non-response of God may have a reason. It's a very good question. I should perhaps start to use it more in conversations I have.
And I'll leave you with
Is any is any finite action appropriate for infinite punishment? Now you're asking a moral question.
Right, I am.
Right, okay. Now my question back to you, if you're an atheist, is, well, what's your moral standard to say anything's right or wrong? But I'll leave that aside, because I want to get to your question, okay?
Of course, Turek seems to share the same ignorance of morality that all religious apologists seem to have. Forget the fact that much of what we consider to be immoral is moral in the Bible, such as slavery, genocide and conquest rape. None of that matters. All that matters is Turek can use this opportunity to sling mud at his strawman version of atheism in front of his viewers. And I feel kinda sorry for the person asking the question, but they stood up to Turek pretty well in my opinion, getting out just enough that maybe, just maybe, some of the more receptive people in the audience will actually think on the things he noted.
First of all, there could be reasons that God punishes somebody for eternity if you're sinning against an infinite being, and secondly, you continue to sin in hell. Who said you stop sinning in hell?
Well, the torture as described in Revelation chapter 21 verse 8, which states, quote, "But the cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts, the idolaters, and all liars, they will be consigned to the fiery lake of burning sulphur. This is a second death." End quote. Sort of puts an end to any opportunity to sin, save perhaps in the atrocities of whatever vile creature created such punishment. Also, where's the justice in allowing a crime to continue? I really don't understand how Turek thinks this excuse puts him in a better position, as all it actually does is frame his religious notion of justice as being even worse than before. As for the general, God may have a reason, could you imagine if I tried to use the same excuse for finite torture? That'd be rejected by anyone with the slightest ounce of decency, and yet here Mr. Turek thinks it not only works, but it works for eternal torture. That is sick.
Right, but then you wouldn't be yourself in heaven either, based on all the descriptions, which is limited.
Well, you're in a glorified state in heaven.
Right, and then I've heard that before about if you're in a glorified state, you can see that your sister who died, or your uncle, your aunt, your families, they're all burning tortures for all eternity, and you're okay with that.
All right, time out, and this will be the last thing I say. The Bible doesn't talk about torturing anyone.
Separation
torment
from God,
is the word that's used, and torment is internally inflicted, not externally inflicted.
Right, and people send themselves there, etc.
So, okay, thank you for your question, River. Let's go to the next question. Yes, sir.
Torment as a noun is severe physical or mental suffering, whilst as a verb it refers to the infliction of severe physical or mental suffering. So torment refers to the effects of torture, or it refers to the torture itself. Either way, Turek is talking absolute crap, as expected by now. Turek has no answer to the man's point that both heaven and hell are described sparsely, yet we still get a good sense of both. That's why earlier I was able to pull out Revelations without a moment's hesitation. But Turek can't acknowledge that. Turek instead sets out to do the classic same thing by any other name, in which he'll defend eternal torture, so long as we don't call it torture. As for torment being internally inflicted, I assume Turek is on about mental suffering, which, like the rest of his excuses, would not stop said act from being torture. Torture doesn't have to be physical. Indeed, many of the worst kinds of torture are psychological, as psychological scars are the hardest to heal from. Not that people in hell would be given the chance to heal, but I was talking about actual torture, not the mythical kind Turek and his vile peers run around threatening people with, whilst facing zero repercussions for their extortion. Sick all round is pretty much all I can say. Hi there, I'd just like to say a few things here at the end of the video. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who's ever donated to the channel via Patreon, giving a special thanks to the following people: Hannah Banghart, Matthew Kovac, John Schoenrock, Alexander Williams, and Daniel Martinez. Your support has ensured this channel its ability to grow over the years, and for that we are truly thankful. Also note that the rewards for Patreon are changing next month, so be sure to check out the tiers to ensure that you know what you're getting from next month. I'd also like to ask that you comment down below and like this video, as well as subscribe and follow Essence of Thought on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Please also consider following Atheist Alliance International on Facebook, an organisation dedicated to helping atheists around the globe. Lastly, I'd like to request that you treat the people responded to in this video with a reasonable degree of respect. Whilst we understand that there are justifiable limits to said respect when tackling certain heavy topics and anger can be a genuine emotion, any comments utilising language which insults others on the basis of perceived gender, sexuality, ethnicity, or ability both mental and physical will be removed immediately and the commenter may be blocked on the moderator's discretion. Let's keep this space one which upholds humanist values. Thank you.